Just let me know when we go live.
I think you just said your first words.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, and welcome to Darkness in Dublin, a crossover scene. This is a crossover for a very specific reason. An unfortunate vampire has acquired the contact details of a somewhat less unfortunate demon.
I think it was the other way around, actually.
Call me.
Yeah. The
Okay,
vampire was desperate and said, "Call me, maybe."
Yeah.
To the demon.
Okay. Viewers, reverse whatever I said.
An idiot vampire.
Yes, a vampire with less wits than a manure dump has made the choice of trying to contact the demon, or rather, being contacted by a demon. Either way, it's not pleasant.
It was non-consensual.
With that in mind, we shall begin. Bring, 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 bring. That's the phone going.
I answer the phone.
So you said you wanted to call.
I'm afraid I can't recall your name, but your voice is extremely familiar. Would you be that? Is the polite word that I would refer to you as?
That bitch? Yeah. Hi.
Well, I have to say that it is important to remain at least somewhat chivalrous in this dark world. After all, what do we have? Well, I'm calling you, or at least you're calling me, with possibly questions or answers. I would personally like to know. I have pored over tomes, consulted the spirits. I am in over my head. Lord knows I ain't afraid to say that.
So, what do you want from me then?
One, well, I don't know. I need help with this Earthbound issue. Perhaps I could be of assistance in exchange for help. I have no idea what to ask, what to say. This is not out of my personal experiences.
Actually, in the background, you can hear a car start, and then you're being put on speaker. And do you really think that I can help? Dude, if I had all the answers, do you really think that Earthbound would still be walking around?
Well, walking is a relative term, given the concerning constitution of that thing. I honestly know very little of the law of demons, shall we say. It's something that I have done my best so far to keep my head out of, but regardless, no matter where it seems I round my stupid head, infernalists and their ilk seem to come knocking. Yeah, I mean, it's worth noting that my character actually does have demon hounded. Like he has previously managed to get his ass out of situations, but only by panicking.
Panic. Every demon hunter's best method.
I mean, you say that. Warlord wins.
If only I knew how to swear in Dutch.
Yes, I love you too.
By the way, at this point, there will be considerable static on the line. Neither of you are neither of you are doing anything that should provoke static, but the phone will go very staticky for several seconds. And then normal.
You're in a tunnel or something?
Nope.
That's what Lila's asking, because you can't see the other side, you know. This is
All right.
not a...
I thought you said, "Are we in a tunnel?"
no. Lila's asking Ryan if he's in like a tunnel or something.
No, I'm not. I'm sitting in my house at my table, shitting myself,
Huh.
as
That
is
must
the
be
norm.
such a nice situation for you then. Actually having a bloody house.
Yes, it is rather wonderful. I have my ghouls and my servants and all that malarkey, but none amount of that will amount to, well, not being dead
What the
or in
fuck is
hiding.
ghoul?
Um, hmm. Well, I wouldn't exactly call them thralls, but underlings that I have given certain powers in exchange for, you know, servitude.
Saskia, as far as you're concerned, that sounds just like a thrall.
I know.
With the
So minions.
Well, I mean, the opportunity for promotion is always there.
Promotion.
Yes, I mean, perhaps if they do a good enough job, if I rise, so do they. And maybe one day they might also become kindred. At the moment, am tutoring my friend Gale in the arts of necromancy that it one day might further serve to do my job once I have found a different course of action, shall we say.
I think kindreds, if that's the term you use, sounds very nice to describe your ilk.
Yes, it is a pleasant word for an awful situation.
Yeah. Yeah, well, to each their own, I suppose. By the way, Anthony, is that static
Yep.
still there present?
Nope.
Okay. I was wondering if I could make an awareness check on that, but
Oh, you can make an awareness check.
uh,
It's just the static isn't there anymore.
yeah, okay. If I can make it retroactively, I will do so.
It won't be a retroactive thing, but if you can. The way it'll work is this is essentially going to be you trying to sense basically.
I mean, it's more like did it ping anything on like the demonic sensing supernatural power scale thing? But if it doesn't, then that's cool. Then Little's just gonna write it off as something.
Yeah, you can make the roll on that score.
Okay. I need to check what it actually is. Got one success.
There's currently okay. If I put this, you aren't able to discern whether or not there was any magic to the static. It was too short-lived.
Cool.
But you are able to discern something, that the phone call is currently full of magic. There's no static, but you can sense was on the phone.
Huh. Okay. So, um,
You appear to have gone rather quiet.
yeah, you and I are somewhat in a unlucky situation, I guess. You obviously don't have the right person on the phone, and I think I might have a little bit too much of a right person on the phone.
I have no idea what you might be referring to, but given my constitution and the frankly paranoid nature of kindred, I would say you might be correct.
Does she know where you live?
Yes, my address is on the card.
No, as in, this is what Lil is asking. Does she know where you live?
As in, does the Earthbound know?
I
Yeah.
mean, I unfortunately gave the Earthbound my card, so you know.
Okay, so that's literally his answer. My bad. Sorry.
Right.
Ah, did she contact you?
She has made no such effort. Perhaps me fulfilling her desires has, you know, kept me away from her guile.
Do you still have that pin?
I do.
Fuck.
Another sudden burst of static.
Lil is gonna park her car.
And that time, since you were listening for it, Saskia,
Yeah.
without even getting a roll, yep, magic was a wooga, a wooga, a wooga.
Oh fuck. She's just gonna get out of the car and close it because, so far her bank account has been set on fire, her house has been set on fire. The only thing that hasn't been set on fire yet is her car. So
Don't tempt me.
take precautions and get out.
Always wise. When you have a pyromaniac ST, always avoid giving us opportunities.
So she's just gonna walk somewhere on the sidewalk. She's not like in the city center or anything. She's a little away from but she's still in the city.
Okay. At this point, Scott, your phone is going to go bing, and even though I assume it's a smartphone,
I think my character is quite archaic, to be honest. He has one of those, those like phones that are connected to the house landline with the
okay, you're on the landline. All right. Do you have a computer?
Not personally, but I have ghouls for that. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, one of your ghouls is going to walk into the room with a very confused look and a laptop, and is going to like just lean in and whisper, trying to gesture for you to cover the mouthpiece, and just whisper quietly, "Master, a very strange message has just arrived on the computer. You remember what an email is, yes?"
Yes, I do recall. It's like a carrier pigeon, but for long distance.
Something of an electric messenger, sir. Yes. A message has just arrived, sir. And he opens the laptop and shows you the email. And all it is a set of coordinates, as well as a link, a hyperlink that when your Google clicks on it, brings up a live tracking website. It shows 2 points highlighted. One of them you immediately recognize as your own current location.
Mm-hmm.
What's creepy is that, as far as you can tell, it's within a meter.
Right.
So even if you move around your haven, it's tracking you. And as far as you're aware, landlines don't do that. You've never heard of it anyway.
Huh. That is both entirely curious and terrifying. Well, Colin is spooked. Yeah, I I removed my hand from the microphone. Yeah, well, it would appear your inclination regarding the phone call might have been correct.
Saskia,
Mm-hmm.
your mobile has also just gone bing. You've got the exact same message.
So a tracking signal.
It would appear so.
So did you get a Did she tell you to do this?
She did not tell me to do anything. She has said not but a word to me since our last encounter, thank the Lord. And now I have received this on the I look up my Google, the internet, yes. Yeah. Some sort of positioning device.
Okay. Give me one good reason why I would help you.
Well, off the top of my head, I have not the slightest inclination, but please remind yourself that you were at that event, weren't you, if I recall correctly? The one involving the lupine in the stadium, yes?
Yes.
You didn't by any chance bleed on the floor, did you? At any point when you were fighting that creature?
So?
I have your blood, man.
I mean, there was a lot of blood on the floor.
There was a lot of blood on the floor. Some
Yeah,
of it was yours.
I am pretty sure, but that mixes.
It does mix, but most of it is dead.
So basically, you're threatening me with my own blood.
Well, I'll be honest.
You're
Yes,
kind of sick.
kind of sick is probably an understatement. But I'll be honest. I'm in an extremely desperate position here. You're asking me why I should help you. I'm just telling you the truth. Take it or leave it. Essentially, I desire whatever out you might offer, if you have one in the first place, and I will be of any assistance in any future endeavors you may encounter, provided, of course, can it be of use. In exchange, you will simply...
I would advise you to just stop talking right now. And I'll explain to you why, and then we'll see further.
Crackle,
This
pop, pop, crackle, crackle.
person is referred to as the Lady of Oaths, and you're speaking about breaking whatever promise you made with her.
I have broken no promise, and all I
Keep
can hear
saying
is...
that, but I wonder if she thinks about that the same way as you do.
She could think whatever the hell she wants. Our exact
Crackle,
wording.
crackle, crackle.
Well, the microphone's beginning to sound like Rice Krispies, and frankly, you might
don't know
imagine...
what a phone is, but you know what Rice Krispies are. Some archaic kindred.
Yeah, well,
What
you know,
neighborhood are you in? I don't need to know your address because I don't fucking care, but what neighborhood are you in?
I'm not exactly familiar with Irish geography.
We'll just say
Just
X generic
walk.
neighborhood
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
moment.
Yeah. I'm in this territory at the moment.
I would advise you to leave your house.
Leave my house.
At this point, I have to ask an important question. Do you have a kitchen in your haven?
Well, I'll be honest. This is my house, and I'm a kindred, so I don't really do the whole food thing. But perhaps, I don't know.
I'm basically wondering, like, do you have the facilities to, for example, cook a meal for a ghoul? Like, if your ghouls want to have lunch.
Yes, I think I do.
Okay. Do you have smoke alarms? Or carbon monoxide alarms? Or gas leak alarms? Any of the standard household alarms?
I know that the security in my house is particularly good. It's got, several cameras, locked doors. I assume that smoke alarms would also be a necessary piece of security equipment.
Okay, I'm going to say that you do have you have standard smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms, a couple of gas leak alarms, like around boilers and major gas pipes and things like that. I'm going to assume you've gone all out for it. With that in mind, beep, 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 beep. One of your ghouls walks in and says, "Sir, The oven is leaking.
The oven is leaking. Well,
Yes, sir. Several of the gas pipes have just started leaking, and we need to clear the building, sir.
GTFO now.
I speak loudly and clearly into the phone. Madam, listen to me this one time. Am I to be of any use if I am engulfed in flames? No.
By the way, ST, I'm gonna make my way over to that neighborhood. I don't know how far I am because I was in a random, neighborhood. I might have been in the same one, but
In that case, roll me a chance die.
Okay. What do you want me to roll? Odds, evens, 1 to 10,
Uh,
or
We'll say odds or evens.
odds?
You were not in the same neighborhood. What number did you roll?
1, because I rolled a 1. I rolled a D2, so it
Oh,
was a 1 or a 2.
all right. I usually go for a 1d10.
That's why I asked you, what do you want me to roll? I can roll
Okay.
a D10 if you want me to.
No, we'll accept a 1. In that case, you were about a mile away.
Okay. Fine, she's gonna drive through to that neighborhood. I mean, after all, she still doesn't know exactly where he would be. But yeah.
Well, yes, you do, because the tracker map is telling you his exact location down to the meter.
Oh, his location. I thought I was telling mine.
Both.
Oh.
There's 2 points marked on the tracker map. One of them is his, one of them is yours. And even as you're driving, your location is being updated continuously.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Well, I look over my ghoul, and I say to him, I do believe that we may have an intruder. Yeah. Basically, just he can tell by what I'm saying that it's about time to, hit the button. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
metaphorically speaking.
To brace for the great big runaway.
Yeah. I assume that I'm basically just gonna have because I haven't managed to finish my ghouls so far because obviously Evan's been contacting me in regards.
As far as I understand it, ghouls are going to be built like retainers.
Yeah.
And retainers do have pre-made stats depending on the level. It's all up on the forum if you want to check it.
Yeah.
So, all right, what do you want your ghoul to do, basically? And what level of ghoul is it? Is it a level 1 retainer? Or a level 2 retainer? Because you will have to spend background points to get.
Yeah, I've got 3 retainers at the moment, I think.
Is that divided between 3 retainers, 2 retainers, or 1 retainer?
That's 3 separate ghouls, as far as I know.
Okay, so 3 level 1 ghouls. Rightio. Give me a moment, and I will check the stats for a level 1 retainer.
I don't really think that's what it was. I thought that per dot you create a retainer, and then that retainer just has a ghoul stats.
The problem is that in Dublin we basically operate on a set of house rules to make it so it's to prevent people doing the classic thing of, I have nothing in computers, but my ghoul has 5 dots in computers and 5 in intelligence.
Right.
So they can roll for me. It's to prevent that sort of malarkey from happening.
Okay.
Because people have done that historically. Instead, we have a system that's much more generalized. So, okay, in that case, important. All right, this is where you do get to pick some stats. Is the ghoul you're using? What is the attribute spread of the ghoul you're using? Mental, physical, social.
I think it's It's literally mental, physical, social in that order.
Okay. In that case, and what thing do you want it to do?
Well, actually, specifically, I just wanted to just tell Alexa intruder alert. Like it.
You really want your ghoul to go over and say, Alexa, intruder alert?
I have a pre-made situation where basically I was going to put a ton of stuff into security for my ghouls to like have it so they like understand what to do. But this is like quite short notice, if I'm honest, because I hadn't actually had a reply on how I was supposed to do the ghouls in the first place. So
I will, after when we're done here, I'll send you the page on the forums.
Okie doke.
Just to explain it all. Okay, in that case, roll me 5 dice, please.
5 dice. Okay.
Yep. The difficulty is 8.
2 successes.
2 successes, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, the ghoul goes off and activates the defenses. And shortly thereafter, you smell this very odd smell. You've smelled loose gas before. It's kind of eggy. This does not smell like loose gas. It smells... At first, you think maybe rancid milk.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because I assume your character has had interactions with corpses.
Yeah.
You recognize the smell as the smell of old corpse.
Mm-hmm.
If a body's been found after too long being sat in the air, this is the smell it gives off. Worse than rotten meat.
Gale, we didn't by any chance leave the cellar open, did we?
No, sir. And you can see he's detecting it, but trying to block it out.
Do me a favor, be a lamb and get out of here. This does not concern you.
But what about you, sir?
I will be fine.
Are you sure, sir?
Positive.
As you say, sir. And he'll go and fetch the other ghouls, and they will go and wait outside. So what do you wish to do now that your ghouls have fled outside?
Well, conveniently, I've drawn a doorway on the placeholder next to me. So I assume that there's a gas leak in the house or something of that ilk anyway. And that, you know, if this demon doesn't like what I have to say, it's going to blow up my house like the man-child it is.
Woman-child.
Woman-child.
It associates itself with the female gender.
Yes. It is also a pile of rotting tentacles.
Yes. But it is an entirely female pile of rotting tentacles.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yep. So you're going to try and escape into the Shadowlands.
Yes.
Okay. Do you wish to look through the shroud to see what the state of the Shadowlands is before making this journey, or do you wish to make the journey blind?
Yeah, I think that's just standard procedure at this point. I mean, I do have control over the shroud in this area somewhat, but yeah, sure, I'll give it a go. It can't hurt. I'll turn on a shroud sight just to be sure, because I wouldn't want to step into a Nile or something.
Just a quick question. Do you still have me, like, did you leave the phone or did you hang up or something?
The phone's still there.
Okay.
The other side of the shroud is full of spectres that seem positively ravenous. Like they're actually attacking each other.
Oh my god. Oh, fantastic. Well, it's about that time, isn't it? All right.
It's always that time. Time for you to risk death at the hand of an earthbound.
It's really
Or
annoying.
get numbed by specters.
I could just hit celerity and just like run several hundred meters in a direction.
That's also possible. Entirely a possibility. It's almost as if the Earthbound knows the people it's dealing with.
Yeah. It's almost if I gave them my fucking card or something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, it's also almost as if, like, you made a promise to a creature that can turn promises into ways into your soul.
Hmm. Well, I
Almost
kept.
as if you did something like that.
Yeah. I mean, shit, I've kept my fucking word so far, and she knows I think that. So.
Oh, yeah, but the problem is, it's not what you think. You are the pathetic mortal thrall.
Right.
It is what the Earthbound perceives, and it perceives you as attempting to try and break your word to your rightful queen. It will punish you for the perceived disloyalty.
Right.
I promise, if you get out of here, Lil will tell you a lot of times I told you so.
Yes.
I'm sure she will, because she definitely informed me of all that times that all of her stuff was set on fire. That was great. I really enjoyed that conversation. Thanks for phoning me about that prior. Oh wait, this is that phone call, huh?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my players are complaining. My job is done.
I'm not complaining.
Sounds like bitching to me.
No, I love saying I told you so. The only thing is he needs to be actually alive for me to tell him that.
The thing is that you can't tell me so if you're in the phone call in which you are to inform me the thing that you're about to tell me I told you so about in the first place. Yeah. This is the phone call involved in that, so don't say I told you so, because you haven't.
And also, like, the house. he's already technically dead, so there is kind of that.
Local man rot checks.
Yes. By the way, how close am I?
At this point, I assume you've been driving at the maximum allowable speed, so like it's taken like 2 or 3 minutes for you to cover the mile, and like you turn a corner and you see a house. I don't know what his haven looks like, but it's quite a nice house, with 3 people standing outside of it, all looking inside worriedly. You can sense the power radiating on them.
Dude, there are 3 people outside your house.
Yes, they're my ghouls. Pay them no mind.
Why aren't you out? I told you to GTFO.
Yeah, you're correct. I'm just
wondering. The important question there is, does he know what GTFO means?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm actually asking him that question. Does your character know what GTFO means? Because you don't own a mobile phone, so why would you know what text speak is?
No. I know you're going to blow up the house. Like, my character's probably already got that. He's got 5 intelligence. He's not an idiot. It's just the... I haven't, like, if you get what I mean, like, canonically, it's only been a few seconds. Like, my character hasn't stood up yet or anything.
It's been maybe 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long to cover a mile in a car, so.
Eternally screaming. Damn it. I'm going to lose my insurance on that Alexa. All right.
Also, why did I buy an Alexa?
Yeah, reasons I bought the Alexa, so when I say intruder alert, Scooby-Doo comes on and all of my zombies get out.
You can try that.
Yeah, I mean, no amount of undead are going to help in this situation. Essentially, as far as I know, I have a cellar like that's like hermetically sealed as to avoid, wraiths dead body leaking, which is why I asked about dead body leaking smells, and my artifacts becoming contaminated with other sort of stuff. So if the house does burn down, I'm not completely fucked in that sense. It just means that my actual living space within the house has been completely obliterated. And I'm going to have to do some serious explaining to the insurance guys about how there's a cellar full of dead bodies under my house.
Saskia,
Yeah.
roll me a d10, please.
Oh boy. Why me? Two?
What was the number?
2.
Right. Okay, you got very lucky there, Scott. Very lucky.
Okay.
You hear from downstairs the screaming, writhing, like animal noises of zombies basically tearing each other to pieces.
Oh. Well.
The Earthbound just tried and failed to take possession of your zombies, and they're killing each other.
Rude. So this guy's a bitch. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, prior he was on a perfectly amicable terms with the monster foot-eating shitlord, but now he's burned my house down.
Which is actually what Lil Will kind of shout through the phone at him. Like, dude, your entire house is like radiating with magic.
Yeah, so it would appear.
Out.
Well, anyway, I assume the phone line's still connected.
Yep. The day itself seems a little strange to you. Because, like, why is everything still working if there's a monster trying to eat my house?
Well, I'm afraid I must be going. It's unfortunate you chose to take such an action. I thought we could remain at least amicable.
Are you saying Mr. Leo?
Into the phone.
So, yes, to Leo.
What?
Yeah.
Look, dude, I'm not doing anything. I'm fucking giving you a warning. Jesus.
I'm not talking to you.
Duh!
At that, you will both hear a voice saying into the phone, "Oath breakers, oath breakers all."
If this
At
is
that
what...
point, the wallpaper ignites.
Joy.
Like, the actual wallpaper all around you just bursts into flames.
Yeah.
Please roll for Rotrek.
Gotcha, Chief. What difficulty?
This will be difficult. What's the difficulty for being an inferno? I believe it's 9.
Burning building is difficulty 9.
Yep, difficulty 9.
Okie doke. Slash roll 60-10.
You'll benefit from Rotrekking on this occasion.
Yeah. I don't think... Yeah, I don't think that is a success because I have a 10 and a 1, so that cancels out. Yeah, no, I've checked.
Okay. Please describe your Rotrek.
I assume that my character is going to freak out. He's not going to try to enter the Shadowland because, you know, that's even worse of a situation. Essentially, my character's just going to go absolutely ape shit, dump into celerity, and get out the front door as quick as he fucking can.
Okay. As you burst out of the door, you get to the bottom of the steps, and then boom! The building explodes.
Right.
You're struck with a few bits of glass, but you're running away too quickly for it actually to hurt you. You got out in time. Congrats.
Good old celerity.
Yeah. as you're standing outside, the Rochwreck finally subsiding, you get this odd feeling that you're being watched.
Yeah. My vicariously long ears twitch.
As you extend your senses to try and detect like what's watching you, you see a small squat man in like on the other side of the street, watching you with a pair of binoculars. You think it's a little odd that he's holding binoculars despite being less than 30 feet from you.
Do I
Alright.
see that too?
You pull up, and yes, he's only 20 feet from you. It seems even weirder to you, and then you recognize him.
I'm gonna bow.
I want to kill those binoculars.
Well done for spotting the obvious.
As in, literally, I want to pull my gun and shoot at the binoculars.
God damn it, Lil! Stop shooting everything.
It's the answer to everything, okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, demon players.
Bullets.
Oh God!
If only I had a really obnoxious but exorbitantly good Malkavian friend who could get me out of most situations.
Yeah.
That he fucking dragged me into.
Yep. Okay, Leo.
Yes.
Please. I believe you need to make a roll to shoot.
Yes. Dex firearms.
Please make
so
me a
sick.
difficulty 9 shooting roll.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
And yes, you will notice as you aim the gun, this shouldn't be this difficult.
I'm like mid curtsy. You're just like wielding a gun, like, whoa, we're all friends here, calm down. You only burned down my house.
Can I spend a willpower?
Yes.
I will spend a willpower. It is a 1 success from the willpower.
Okay, you managed to hit, but we'll do no additional rollover damage. Please roll for damage.
Just a 1.
Okay, you shoot, you hit the binoculars, and the bullet proceeds to bounce off them.
Well, fuck.
That in itself makes no sense as far as Lil is concerned. Because, like, binoculars aren't bulletproof.
Yeah, true. She'll just kind of, gesture for Ryan, is it? Yeah, to jump in the car.
Tell me, darling, does this sucker bleed?
You really want to try
Probably.
it?
Possibly.
It's your life.
I think I've had enough of my own foolishness for one day. Yeah, I get out from my bow. I follow the man into their car.
Wait, you're following the man?
The ma'am.
The man.
Oh, you're following Lil. Right,
It's ma'am.
Do you still wear that silver pin, or do you have it on you?
Oh no, that was inside.
Okay, good. Good.
You check your pocket, incidentally. You say that, and you feel a weight in your pocket.
Hmm.
Do you check your pocket?
I have a feeling I already know what it is.
Oh yeah, but this is for the sake of dramatics. Do you check your pocket?
I check my pocket.
You pull out the pin.
Oh, that's curious.
You are entirely certain it was not in your pocket beforehand.
Teleporting items, exploding houses. My, this is like an episode of that the Scooby-Doo's from the televisions.
What? What are you gonna do with it?
Well, nothing. I don't think there's a thing I can do with this pin.
Well, you keep it or you toss it.
Regardless, it will probably come back to me. Has a knack for that, apparently. Well, I keep the pin because I'm a man of my word. I like this bitch.
She's a demon of her word. She didn't pledge not to set your house on fire.
She didn't pledge not to set my house on fire, but I didn't pledge not to snitch on her. And she knows that.
True, but you have to consider she believes she is your rightful queen. Imagine how an absolute monarch would feel if it found out you were blabbing its secrets. What would be if you were in service to the Saudi Arabian royal family and then you started blabbing their national secrets? What do you think the royals would do?
I think I'd probably disappear very quickly into a Saudi embassy after being chopped up into small pieces and dumped in a river.
Precisely. Think of it in those terms and then consider that this is a demon. It's much scarier than any member of the Saudi royal family.
Yeah, it's one of those, man. Who am I to guess the lamentations of a demon that's been stuck in a fucking pit for a few billion years or whatever? As far as I'm concerned, it's just crazy. I don't care about its laws.
Yep, crazy is a good way to define an earthbound. Nutty is the proverbial fruitcake.
Except this proverbial fruitcake can apparently set itself on fire. Like a Christmas pudding. An angry Christmas pudding.
It's nutty as squirrel poo, as they say.
Yeah. Kind of sucks.
Yes.
I had every intention of remaining completely, reasonable with this Earthbound. Like, I was totally just gonna do what she said, but she's burnt my house down now.
Like I said, the problem is you started blabbing her secrets.
Blab any fucking secrets. She knows what I said.
You told people about her.
I didn't tell anybody about her. She was fucking there.
You made the phone call.
I did make the phone call. Actually, I think you find that I was phoned, but...
Did you hang up immediately? Did you entirely refuse to engage?
I'm sorry,
with her mortal enemies?
My dude, I don't speak snack, crackle, pop, okay? I can't tell what she wants me to do. You know.
I know that. I'm ST.
Yeah.
And it's not that the Earthbound knows it. Don't yell at me. I'm only God.
So Lil is just checking the vampire with the pin, kind of looking at it. It's like, okay, you can keep that, and I don't mind giving you a ride to any fucking place in the city that you want to be in. You can fucking toss it out of the window, and I might bring you somewhere where you can actually get some help from someone who's decent, and that's not me.
Huh. Decent in what term? Decent as in a man of their word, and not by a man of their word as a man of insanity. I mean a man of their word as in someone who follows the fucking guidelines that they put in place, looks over it. The man with the binoculars who's way too close to be using binoculars.
No. Lil is driving away from that guy. Like, don't get me wrong.
Oh,
Lil is definitely driving away from that guy.
You're already gone. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so I'm either gonna drop you off somewhere random, wherever you fuck you want, or I can take you somewhere, but I'm not gonna take you there with that bloody pin on you.
Well, I can't get rid of the pin.
Try it.
Sure. I pick up the pin that's been in my hand, and I try to toss it out the window.
Okay, Saskia.
Mm-hmm. At the moment he's tossing it out of the window, Lil is just gonna how do you call that? Put pedal to the metal or on metal to the pedal or something like
pedal to the metal. Yeah.
That.
Okay, the moment I have to ask you a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
What is Leo willing to sacrifice in order to defeat the Earthbound?
In order to defeat it.
Yes.
Well, I don't think she has a lot. Um, like she's not gonna give it a name or anything, but
Okay, on a scale of fluffy kittens to death, how much would she risk in order to beat this thing?
she would not risk the death of those people that she cares about, which are at the moment 2 people.
What about her own life?
Less important, still important. Like she would try to avoid that. She likes her own life, sort of.
Okay, in that
Especially with her
case,
not having a thrall yet. Yes, I'm looking at you, Anthony.
hush. In that case, make me a face roll.
Oh boy.
Difficulty 5.
Okay. Well, that's 4 successes.
Okay. You feel a strange warmth somewhere near your heart. And for a moment, you can see golden light around the pin. You see a sheen of green fire trying to drive off the golden light, and then the pin goes out the window. As far as the vampire is concerned, he saw none of this.
Hmm.
Though you did see that for a few seconds, Leo's irises changed from whatever color they are normally to an eagle-like golden brown, to a gold, to a pure golden color, like those of an eagle.
Eyes on the road, ma'am. uh,
There's just gonna be a grunt as Lil is like driving pretty much above speed limit at the moment.
Yep.
And yeah, she's like, does she still sense any kind of magic, like earthboundy magic, lingering around?
Not around the car. You do sense that there is power in the air, but
Uh-huh.
it doesn't. In terms of how it makes you feel, the earthbound magic felt like sitting in a bath of old oil.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the feeling of magic you're currently getting is that of a warm hug.
Huh. Okay.
That's how it feels, like someone's protective embrace.
Okay. Lil's gonna call another number, which I think she has now again.
I believe so, yes.
So yeah, she's gonna ring Simon.
Hello?
It's Lil.
Yes?
I have someone that needs your help, probably.
You hear him, like, consulting something? Like, he's going... Like, you hear something turning, and he goes, I can't detect anyone. No one's showing up on the globe anyway.
Didn't say they were alive.
alive is more of a relative term.
She'll actually hand
What?
the phone over to Ryan. Like, here, talk.
As Ryan takes the phone, he hears the word, why are you bringing a wraith to me?
I'm not a wraith. Well, not when I don't want to be.
Okay, so I take it you're Leo's new friend.
We're not friends.
I mean, friend's a stretch of a term, but I'd say for the moment a polite acquaintance. If you can call her demeanor polite. She hasn't tried to kill me. I'm calling that a success.
Okay, I need to ask you a very important question then. Which nation do you belong to?
Which nation do I belong to?
Of the various special nations of Dublin.
That's a very vague question.
I'm being vague for obvious reasons, if you know what I mean by the question.
I believe I know what you speak of, but no, I'm not of any of those nations.
In that case, please hand the phone back to Lil.
I do so.
She kind of shoulders it against her, against the ear as she's driving. Yo.
Lil, deliver your friend to the nearest police station. He's not one of the nations. He's therefore not our responsibility. It's a sad thing to have to say,
He's a
but let
fucking
mortals...
vampire.
He stopped mid-sentence. I asked him the question.
Yeah,
Stupid
it's an
bloody...
idiot. It's one of the vampires who had a deal with that bitch that you're trying to keep alive, okay? So I'm coming your way. He had his house set on fire like I had. So I'm coming your way. You better help him because I don't know what the fuck to do with this dude and kind of want to put a bullet through him.
That explains it. Out of curiosity, did you happen to see something have any golden light on it a few minutes ago?
No, didn't see anything.
You sure?
Pin.
The pin.
Yeah.
This is the pin you told me about, right?
Yeah, I made him toss it out of the window before we got on the phone with you.
Oh, bloody wonder. That's going to hurt for a few days. Okay, I need to tell you something, Leo.
Does that need to be now? I'm driving.
Yes, you might. Well, you'll probably hit me if I don't tell you now. I've put something of a ward on you. You and the other members of the court.
Yeah. So?
Well, it's to stop things like the Earthbound being able to more easily hit you, but it takes an effort of will on your part to trigger it. I'm kind of surprised. Didn't think you had the mental, space to trigger it.
Are you trying to insult me right now?
No, it just takes a certain mindset, that's all. Well, you know where the address is.
Check. I'll see you in a bit.
See you soon. And click.
Yeah, she kind of like, shoulders the phone in so that it falls in her lap. And we'll drive to the house.
Nice, yeah. Shortly thereafter, the car will pull up. And Simon is standing outside the gate. Incidentally, Saskia, this is the first time she has ever encountered Simon outside of his house.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Ryan is concerned, there is a man with a reasonably, like a man of moderate height, somewhat pale skin, dark hair, dark eyes, standing arms folded in a business suit outside of the large mansion that you've just pulled up in front of.
Yep, they will get out of the car, kind of look at Ryan and be like, come on.
All right, I get out as well.
Simon will walk over and extend his hand to Ryan.
I go to shake his hand, but you can tell, like, touching anyone or anything makes me feel uncomfortable.
He takes your hand and firmly shakes it. And as soon as he does, you get a sensation, it's almost like it's like standing in a room full of buzzing bees,
Hmm.
and then the buzzing stops. And it suddenly feels like you've taken the heavy bag off.
Hmm.
It's like a weight you hadn't noticed.
Your presence is rather calming.
Only when I'm trying to keep one of them off you.
Yes. Bearing down on whatever soul is left.
Oh, your kind have souls, rest assured.
I've always wondered that. Otherwise, how would we come back as race or specters?
Any creature that can find itself in Haven must have a soul.
Hmm. Ryan, by the way.
Simon.
I bow cordially.
You don't need to do that, my friend. Just don't. How shall I put this? Don't start dominating my servants.
Well, since you seem to be of a reasonable and, quite frankly, quite soothing personality, I will be absolutely clear with you. My desires are entirely scholarly. I am incapable of doing such a thing even if I wanted to.
Well, that's an upside at least. Now, he sits down on like the bonnet of the car and says, "So, Leo, you say this. You can actually see him stop himself mid-sentence, and then he looks at Ryan and says, "Kindred, right?"
Yes, kindred. A rather
Right.
dull term. I'm not going to be offended if you go around saying something of it.
It's just I'm very used to referring to your kind as bastards of Cain.
Yes, the only other person I've heard use that was a writhing set of steaming, rotting tentacles. So if you do me the courtesy of saying kindred, I would very much appreciate it.
Yeah. Those of us who remember Cain think rather highly of him.
Lil shrugs.
Say that again?
Lil shrugs. She has no memories of that, so like whatever.
My knowledge of kindred law is rather limited. Well, his imitations of your earthly, what's the word? Earthly effects were admirable, after all. It is copying is the most genuine form of flattery.
It's not his flattery that interests me. I knew the angels who cursed him. I wasn't there personally, but I knew those who did. I have a great deal of pity for Cain. Not for his creations, necessarily.
Though he
But
was
the
the
man
first to
did
take
lie.
life.
True. But strong emotions can do odd things to him.
They certainly can. Misguided feelings of love and compassion can lead to the darkest of desires in the most extreme of events.
You're talking to a fallen angel, my friend. Rest assured, my kind know far more about, let's just call it, unfortunate decision making. But yes, I'm going to assume that you've had second thoughts about this little pact you made with the Earthbound.
I assure you that any pact or deal I may have made with such a creature was entirely to save my own skin.
So you're a coward as well as an idiot.
It depends on your definition. After all, there are different types of intelligence. Perhaps in the case of common sense, I may be an idiot, more than willing to accept it. Anybody who claims to be otherwise is probably kidding themselves. And yes, for the record, I am rather a bit of a coward. But what would you do in the face of, well, from your reference, pure evil?
The same thing I did the last time I encountered one.
Well, in my case, there have never been a last time.
Somehow I had assumed as much. So, Leo, what do you want me to do with this one?
I don't know. I don't care. Look, I brought him here because he doesn't want to be an Earthbound anymore. I don't an Earthbound thing anymore. I don't want that bitch to have any power over any kind of group here in the city more than she already has. So I figured the best thing, you're a nice dude. I am not. So better you to deal with him than I.
A nice sentiment, but I am tyrant. That this is one of those things where I have to rely on, well, my court.
Well, then call your court.
My court called me. And he looks levelly at Leo.
I'm not part of your bloody court.
Stop with the imbecilic self-insistence. It's beginning to annoy.
Sort of shrug.
You might not want to be part of the court, but you are part of it. Unless you wish to deal with this alone.
I mean, so far I have been.
That's what you think. Not an unreasonable assumption, but still an assumption.
So far I've been set up for fraud. My apartment's been burned out. The only thing that I have left is my bloody car.
I think you placing too much in material gains here.
And besides, your car isn't the only thing you have left. You have Karul, and he stops at the word "and you." And for a second, it looks like he might say more. And then he just doesn't. He goes silent.
And I what?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
No. You don't need you don't need to be worried. So it doesn't
Her
matter.
hand sort of goes to the pocket that by now
Hold
you
her
know.
gun. Of course.
It just kind of twitches there, and then
I was going to say you also have your mother.
fuck do you know about that?
Zaskia,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have this information, OC. But you said her mother is in a care home, correct?
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's going to say your mother's full name, her maiden name, if she was married,
Yeah,
the
she
name of the care home,
uh,
and the name of her chief doctor, like the chief medical professional who looks after her.
Yay, great. Let me just roll a quick subterfuge there to pretend that she doesn't give a fuck.
Yep.
Manipulation, subterfuge, and I have
Keep
a
in
marriage for
mind, this is a
this.
guy who uses laws and information to find out about his court members. This
Oh
shit
well.
was kind of inevitable.
2 dice extra on lying. So manipulation, subterfuge, 5, 7.
Ryan's just gonna plug his rather large elf ears.
Only 2 successes.
Wait,
Okay, in that case, would you mind rolling me 10 dice?
Okay. Also 2 successes if the diff is 6.
Yep, diff 6, so defender wins.
Yay.
If you intend to lie or pretend it doesn't matter, feel free.
Yeah, she sort of shrugs and it did, like, she doesn't seem to be caring much.
He looks a bit surprised by that. I'd expected differently. Well, it's their own, I suppose. I did think the woman mattered to you, but I
Shut
suppose
up.
it's just, it might just be
Shut
cool.
up.
yes,
He look-
I think
he
you
looks
might
at
be
you.
divulging perhaps a bit too much information in the presence of myself.
Oh no. And he looks directly at you and says, if you repeat a single word of what you've heard, I will make you beg for death before you die. And believe me, you will die hideously and forever.
Yes, I'll be honest, at this point it doesn't even fucking surprise me.
Understand there is a big difference between myself and the Earthbound. That difference being that I am capable of good. Do not force me to do otherwise.
I have absolutely no intention.
Good. Always wise. Now, as to the problem of the Earthbound, well, I suppose that does rather remove one problem. And he takes out his phone and he dials a number. And he doesn't hide, like he types it in manually, which is very unusual, but he doesn't make any effort to hide the number he's dialing. Leal will recognize it immediately as the number of the care home. Beep, 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 beep. Hello, yes, this is Mr. Carrigan. Yes, I called early in the week. Yes, I've spoken with my client, and apparently Miss O'Quinn no longer desires to maintain my services. With that in mind, yes, I'm aware her assets have been frozen, but apparently that's not the reason. I know. People in the family is always a bit odd, but yes, I understand that. Yes. With that in mind, if you wouldn't mind cancelling the account that's linked. Yes, I'm aware of the consequences, but it's not my business. I'm only a solicitor. Yes. Thank you. I'll be sure to let her know. Good day. And he hangs up.
Lil just looks extremely confused at all this.
He holds out his phone to you with the email app open.
What's that?
You read it. It's a contract I signed.
If you will, read it.
I assume you're going to use a text-to-speech app?
Mm-hmm. Oh fuck. Let's first try if she can actually read it.
All right, this should be
Uh,
entertaining.
yeah. So far I've not made a single roll of these things.
There's a reason he has a text to speech app on his phone.
Hey, she actually reads it. Takes her some
Right.
time, but you know.
Basically, it's a letter. It's a solicitor's letter. It details that you have put it. Obviously, it's your forged signature. Like you spot that immediately, but it's a damn good forgery. It's basically granting Simon Carrigan and Simon Carrigan Associates, a legal firm, power of attorney in the event that your finances aren't sufficient to pay for your mother's care, with a trust amount basically up to and including €100,000. So basically, in the event that you couldn't pay for her care, this fund would have paid for it. And by the sound of it, he's just cancelled it. And given that your assets have been frozen because you're under investigation for fraud,
Yeah, Lil's mouth kind of opens as if she's about to say something. You're not quite sure whether she's about to, you know, let out a like a minute long rant of swear words, or if there's something else that might be coming out of her mouth soon.
vomit
But
probably.
there's just no words really coming out, and then she just kind of slams her mouth shut again and almost tosses the phone at him.
Just thought you should say it. Not that it matters, of course, since, as you say, mustn't have been a very nice woman, your mother, not to
Shut
care too
up!
much about her. But that's fair enough. Some mothers are just not
Shut up
good at
about
being
my
mothers.
mother! How dare you!
You didn't seem to care 5 minutes ago.
Fuck off!
And he actually smiles faintly. I had a feeling you were lying, but
You're
you're
all
too good of an actor
bloody.
for me to be sure.
You're all the bloody same. You, that bitch, is trying to mess with our lives without even discussing things. How dare you?
I mean, he
called
didn't
trying.
exactly set anything on fire.
And to be fair, Leo, your mother would have been thrown out of that care home several weeks ago had it not been for my fund. What you miss in all this is that there's two different types of manipulation. There's the type I do, whereby I set things up in case things go wrong for you. But which, if nothing goes wrong, you need never know.
I am not a bloody child that you can just arrange things for. You can fucking discuss things with me.
Not a child. It's almost adorable. You've no comprehension, and yet you are to be treated like an adult. If you knew even half of what that meant, you'd be begging me to treat you like a child.
If you even know half of the things that we've been through, you wouldn't even say that. I am
Very
not going to
well.
have this discussion right now with you.
Very well. Very well. I can't say I didn't try. I can't say I didn't try. Ryan, under the circumstances, I offer you the protection of my house. with all the hospitality, both obligations and entitlements that would entail.
I will do everything best in my capacity to fill any obligations you require of me, and thank you for your generous service.
Only fulfilling the terms required by the hospitality of one race to another. May your nights be long, and may you never go hungry.
And may you continue to care, regardless of the consequences.
And he bows quite deeply to you.
Yeah, I do the same, because forced manners, it's like, at this point, it's like a nervous twitch to him.
Yep. It's also the fact that, like, Simon is someone who understands a very old school of thought.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with a white lie.
Oh no, he means every word.
Yeah.
Yep. Because like you can tell in his face, total honesty.
Yeah. Like, when that guy said he'd fuck me up, I'll be honest, like, I had no intention of crossing him anyway. Like, he seems like a reasonable dude, in quotation marks.
Yeah. As he straightens up, he looks at Leo and says, I'm going to ask you directly then, since you don't want any interference. Do you want my help with the Earthbound? You, specifically.
What's that gonna mean?
As in, I help in whatever way I can. But it'll be up to you to actually do the work, since you don't want me interfering. So,
Not behind my back, no.
as you wish. And with regards to your mother, I take it I'm to cancel all accounts linked.
Lil looks like she has to swallow a lot of pride here as she
Oh, yeah.
kind of lowers her gaze and says, "You can help her find, please."
As you wish. I'll have everything set up tonight. And with that, he turns and walks towards the gates, which Ryan will notice are completely closed and like sealed over with ivory. It looks like they haven't opened in years.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment he gets to them, there's a shimmering silver, what looks almost like a waterfall effect. He steps through and is gone. And it stays open, that shimmering effect.
Yeah. I look over. I assume I am to follow.
I just brought you to a safe space. It's up to you to follow or not.
Hmm. You are rather deflective. Were I to try to akin you to maybe a human, which it's honestly, at this point, I have no idea. I would say that you were hiding something. Maybe a little bit of compassion, maybe.
Fuck that. She actually spits on the ground.
Thank you.
Sure, whatever.
If you need my help at any point in regard to this issue, I would be glad to lend a hand.
Sure.
After all, now I have a personal stake in it. Have a nice evening.
See you later.
Yeah. And with a nod, I make my way towards the gate.
You step through and find yourself standing in a large room that, as far as you can tell, appears very comfortably furnished. And it also appears like there is a fire at the one end, but the fire is a strange golden color. And rather than fearing it, you feel instinctively comfortable in its presence. Which is odd for a kindred.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of that scene in like is it no what we do in the shadows, where he's like there's silver cutlery and he goes to touch it, he's just like, you know, like it reflexively jerks backwards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably the first time you felt comfortable around fire in decades, if not centuries.
Yeah. About that much. I mean, shit, recently I got comfortable with sunlight. That was an experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you are now a guest at the home of the tyrant of the demon court. Well done.
Yay. It's better than being like, you know, hounded by whatever the fuck that is. You know.
Yep. A lot better than that as it happens.
Yeah.
Because Earthbound be funky.
Yeah. Good lord. My massive collection of baseball bats and other random things is now aflame. How will I ever recover from such a loss? Oh wait, it's old material and doesn't matter in the slightest.
Especially not to one of the bastards of Cain.
Yeah.
You have forever to recover it.
In the words of Mr. Incredible, I got time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, I think we shall draw this scene to a close. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for enjoying this horrible nightmare. And remember, the key lesson that Leal learnt today. Not everyone who's manipulating you is entirely an asshole. Just mostly.
I mean, you say that.